At the age of 9 years, she won the Young Yugoslavian Tennis Championship. She became 16. She was already the French Open winner. At 17, she held the record for being the youngest ever tennis player to become number one in the world. She was a hard hit of the ball. She was magical. She was here and here to rule. Everything looked fine. But that one incident changed the world for Monica Seles.
She was a teenage champion known around the world, and then one day her life took a dramatic turn. How did a world-class athlete turn into a binge eater? And how she is finally getting a grip.
At the age when the high school students are busy packing their bags, preparing for the exams, and attending the lectures, this girl, the Yugoslavian champion Monica Seles, was ruling the tennis world. She was shattering records one after the other. Besides being the number one tennis player of the world, she had won 8 Grand Slams at the age of 20, which included the coveted Australian Open, the US Open, and the French Open. She was the strongest striker of the ball, and she came this close to winning the Wimbledon too. She was here, ruling and achieving what others can only dream of. Often called the Rottweiler of the tennis court, Monica Seles was creating records as the time was passing. Everything looked great. She was the princess of tennis, if not the queen. But life had some other plans for her. It was 30th April 1993 when Monica was playing a quarterfinal match of Citizen Cup in Hamburg, Germany. She didn't know that her life was going to change forever. While the match was on, during one of the breaks, Monica sat facing the court with her back towards the audience. And this was the moment when a man called Gunter Pasch ran from the audience with a bone knife. He was successful in breaking the security and he stabbed the back of Monica Seles.
Colorado for medical treatment. The world's top women's tennis player was stabbed in the back Friday when she rested between games of a match in Hamburg, Germany. Her attacker, a German, says he wanted to prevent Seles from maintaining her world ranking ahead of Germany's Steffi Graf.
This caused a wound in her back of around the depth 0.5 inches, that is 1.3 centimeters, where luckily her spinal cord was still safe. The German attacker, Gunter, was immediately arrested and Monica hospitalized. The man admitted to his crime and he said that he had done it on purpose. He happened to be a great fan of Steffi Graf, who belonged to Germany only, and that is why he did not want to see anyone else rule the tennis except Steffi Graf. The man hated Monica Seles as she was successful in defeating Steffi Graf a number of times to win different championships. Whatever the reason was, sadly, Seles was suffering. One of the reasons also cited of this attack was the politics of Europe. Since Monica Seles belonged to Yugoslavia and the attacker was from Germany, this incident was also linked to the Yugoslavian wars. However, the German government and their officials were quick enough to rule it out and said that it was an act of individual nature and it was not supposed to be linked with the overall political conditions of Europe. The road to recovery for Monica was a really tough one. The physical pain lasted for a few weeks. However, it was the mental healing which was going to take a lot of time. Trauma, depression, lack of confidence, anxiety, fear, all the negative emotions we can think of, she battled during this period. The fairy tale of Monica had been turned into a nightmare when she would be at home. She required serious medical attention, a lot of counseling, and a number of therapies to overcome the situation. In one of our interviews, Monica has also admitted that she became a binge eater at the time. That means she got addicted to food.
Came after I won a big tennis tournament, and all I could think about was going back into my hotel room and start my binge eating. And for me, it was just very hard to understand and accept that here I was a super controlled athlete on the tennis court, in the gym, but yet when it came to my eating, I was totally out of control.
And thus, even her physical fitness was suffering. It took her 2 years to completely recover and get back to the court. Finally, in 1995 August, she returned back to tennis and made it a memorable as well as emotional moment for her fans who had waited for her. They were the ones who had supported her all during the thick and the thin. However, she was no more a Yugoslavian player. She was now a US citizen. That means she was going to represent USA. This too speaks volumes about the kind of internal as well as external conflict that Monica must have been through in these years. The return of Monica was not going to be an easy one now. The effect of the 2 years absence were clearly visible. She was comparatively slower, not as hard striker as she used to be, and also she had gained good amount of weight. The British media fell to the extent of calling her a sumo wrestler. And this body shaming shows what kind of insensitive people some are and they can be. Meanwhile, Monica had pledged to never play on the German soil again. After this horrifying incident, Gunter was also imprisoned and he was given the punishment. But surprisingly, the punishment lasted only for 2 years. Yes, you heard it right. The man was released by the court under the background of being mentally ill. So here too, poor Monica didn't get the justice she deserved. With the arrival of fresh talents in tennis like Venus and Serena Williams, Martina Hingis, Jana Novotná, etc., it was difficult for Monica to regain her lost glory. Yet, with her determination, she tried very hard and eventually was able to get into the top 5 in the world tennis rankings. 1996, the year Monica had waited for. This year was really remarkable because it saw Monica win her 4th Australian Open tournament. Yes, this meant that it was the 9th Grand Slam of her career. It didn't stop over here. In the same year, in Olympic Games held at Atlanta City, USA, she was able to secure a bronze medal. It was her first and the only medal in her entire career. Although it was not a gold medal, yet it was an honor. Today, when we look back, 1996 meant a lot for her. During the late 1990s, her game gradually declined. In 1998, she even lost her father and her former coach, thus bringing some more heartbreaks for the great performer. In the coming years, she was not able to win any Grand Slam title further. She could reach the quarterfinals and semis, but many a times missed the opportunity. However, she helped her country USA in the team events and cups like the Hoffman Cup or Fed Cup a number of times, making USA the champions on numerous occasions. Monica was always an important asset to the world of tennis. Aging with dignity, Monica was realizing that her time on the court was limited. In 2008, On 14 February, this legendary icon decided to quit tennis forever. This was the end of her remarkable career. In the next year itself, in 2009, she was inducted into the International Tennis Hall of Fame. In 2011, Times also declared her as one of the legends of the top 30 legends of all time. The life of Monica Seles leaves behind many questions. How fickle the life is. How strange it is. One incident can change the entire course of life. What if that incident never happened? What if no stabber could reach Monica that day? Could she be the best female tennis player of all time? Probably yes, or maybe not. Could she win 30 plus Grand Slam titles? Probably yes, or maybe not. But the only thing that is left behind is what if?